CompTIA Tech Plus Complete Training Course. Exam Objective 6.1 Explain fundamental security concepts and frameworks. Single factor versus multi-factor. When accessing digital systems, we often encounter prompts asking for credentials. Using just one authentication factor, like a password, to verify your identity is known as single-factor authentication. This straightforward process, often abbreviated as SFA, verifies your identity using only one piece of evidence. However, as our security needs have evolved, so have our authentication methods. Enter multi-factor authentication, or MFA. This method requires two or more pieces of evidence conforming to multiple authentication factors in order to verify your identity. MFA can involve a combination of elements, something you know, like a password, something you have, such as a mobile device receiving a code, something you are, like a fingerprint or facial scan, and somewhere you are. This layered approach to authentication significantly enhances security by ensuring that even if one factor is compromised, there are additional barriers to unauthorized access. Now, if that was not enough, you are also likely to come across the concept of two-factor authentication in your IT journey. Two-factor authentication is often referred to as 2FA, and is a specific form of MFA that uses exactly two authentication factors to verify your identity. It strikes a balance between enhanced security and user convenience, often combining a password with a mobile code or another easily accessible method. In the realm of IT, understanding the distinctions between single-factor, two-factor, and multi-factor authentication is essential. As you prepare for your CompTIA Tech Plus certification exam, remember that the choice of authentication method can greatly impact the security of systems and data. Now let's practice this concept to ensure you are exam ready. To do this, I will present a few authentication scenarios where two authentication elements are used. We will then classify each authentication element according to its authentication factor type and then see if a single factor or multiple factors were used overall. With that explained, here is the first authentication scenario. The user has provided a username, which is something you know, and a complex password, which is also something you know. As both authentication methods are something you know factors, this would be considered single-factor authentication or SFA. Authentication scenario number 2. The user has provided a smart card, which is a form of a hardware token. This falls into the something you have category. The user has also provided a PIN number, which is something you know. In this scenario, we have multiple authentication methods being utilized, so this would be considered multi-factor authentication or MFA. Okay, don't beg. I will do one more scenario, just for you. Authentication scenario number 3. In this last scenario, the user is subject to geolocation. This falls into the somewhere you are category. The user must also provide a retina scan, which is something you are. In this scenario, we have multiple authentication methods being utilized, so this would be considered multi-factor authentication or MFA. Great! Now you are a certified SFA, 2FA, and MFA master. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more great content.